England had Michael Olise, so why isn't he playing for them? How does a player born in London, raised in England, developed in the English system, end up choosing another country? Was it a mistake? Or was it something that was always going to happen? Because here's the real question. Did England actually lose him? Or did they never really have him at all? And if they never had him, then what exactly did they miss? Because players don't just change direction for no reason. They don't just walk away from the obvious path, unless something doesn't feel right. So what didn't feel right? What made him look at England and decide it wasn't the best option? Was it about opportunity? Was it about competition? Or was it about something deeper? Because from the outside, everything looked perfect. He was born in England. He grew up in England. He developed inside the English football system, so why would he choose anything else? Why take a different path? And more importantly, what did he see that everyone else didn't? Because when you look closer, the situation starts to change. England is not just a team, it's a system full of talent, full of depth, full of players already performing at the highest level. Players like Bukayo Saka, players like Phil Foden, players like Cole Palmer, players who are not just part of the team, but central to it, players who already have the trust, already have the minutes, already have the role. So where does that leave someone like Olise? Does he walk into that team, or does he wait? And if he waits, for how long? Because that's the part nobody talks about. Not how good England is, but how difficult it is to break into it. Because talent is not enough. Not at that level, not in that environment. You need timing. You need opportunity. You need space. And when that space doesn't exist, what happens next? Do you keep waiting? Do you keep hoping? Or do you start looking somewhere else? Because waiting sounds safe, but is it really? What happens if you wait too long? What happens if the opportunity never comes? What happens if your development slows down? Because football doesn't stop. It doesn't wait for anyone. And if you're not playing, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're falling behind. And if you're falling behind, you're disappearing. So was staying with England really the safer choice? Or was it actually the bigger risk? Because on the other side, there was France, not just as an option, but as a real alternative, a different system, a different pathway, a different opportunity, and maybe a clearer one. Because France didn't just have the right to pick him. They wanted him, they followed him, they gave him a pathway. And that raises another question. How important is it for a player to feel wanted? How important is it to know that you are part of the plan? Because players don't just choose teams, they choose environments. They choose where they feel valued, where they feel seen, where they feel they have a role. And when you have that, decisions become easier. Because it's no longer about guessing, it's about clarity. And maybe that's what England didn't provide. Not because they didn't want him, but because they already had too many players, too many options, too much competition. And when there is too much competition, what happens? Does it push players forward, or does it hold them back? Because competition can make you better, but it can also limit you. It can reduce your opportunities, reduce your minutes, reduce your chances to grow. And for a player like Olise, that matters. Because players like him don't rely on structure. They rely on freedom, on creativity, on instinct, and without that, they are not the same. So maybe the question is not, why did he choose France? Maybe the real question is, what would have happened if he chose England? Would he play regularly? Would he develop faster? Would he become the player people believe he can be? Or would he wait? Wait for minutes. Wait for trust. Wait for something that might never come. Because that's the risk, not failure, but limitation. And that's something players at this level understand. They don't just think about today, they think about the future. They think about where they can grow, where they can improve, where they can become something real. And maybe that's what this decision was about. Not rejecting England, but choosing the best path, the smartest path, the path that gives him the highest chance to succeed. But then again, what does England lose? Do they actually lose a star, or do they just lose depth? Because they already have Saka, they already have Foden, they already have options. So does Olise really change that? Or is this loss bigger than it looks? Because sometimes, the players you lose are not the obvious ones. They are the different ones, the unpredictable ones, the ones who give you something new. And when those players are gone, you don't notice immediately, but later, it matters. So what does France gain? Do they gain a starter, or do they gain a weapon? A player who can change games, a player who can create moments. Because in international football, moments decide everything. And players like Olise create moments, not consistently yet, but potentially. And in football, potential at the right time is everything. So now we come back to the original question, did England lose him, or did he make the right decision? Because maybe this was never about loyalty. Maybe it was never about identity. Maybe it was always about opportunity. And maybe he didn't reject England. Maybe he just chose himself. So what do you think? Did England make a mistake? Or did Michael Olise make the smartest decision of his career?